Hey everybody, this is I hope you all are doing a wonderful day. And I'm not gonna lie, this was not the deck profile I was planning on making today. Today, I was gonna show off Marincess because, in the spirit of water decks, I think I just got my final Marincess Marincess card, the new spell card. But the new Thunder Dragons branded deck kind of just got a whole bunch of new support, and I kind of want to show this off. So this is not the best version of the deck. I'm telling you this right now. This version, I don't even think functions properly. But the reason why I'm making this deck profile for Thunder Dragons is that I believe like 6 new cards just came out that ultimately just make this deck amazing. It makes all the branded decks super strong, and I think Thunder Dragons have the potential to be meta again, even without Colossus with these new cards. Now, anyone who doesn't remember when Colossus and Thunder Dragons were meta, this is a very combo fusion synchro XYZ deck that just basically, it Link climbed as well. And basically, this is a huge combo. This is Dragon Link before Dragon Link. Even some Dragon Link versions are Thunder Dragon decks, but basically, it's a combo deck where you want to summon out Colossus to pop a whole bunch of cards and make a big ass board and kill your opponent on the next turn. It's very combo heavy. And originally, because Colossus, their other fusion, was banned, this deck kind of fell over. It wasn't good enough. Dragon Link was better by itself than playing the Thunder Dragon cards, because no offense to the Thunder Dragon cards, they're kind of bricky, and just having one Titan as your boss monster is not enough. Now, once Toon Chaos came in, this deck got a second life with Chaos Space and a whole bunch of really good Chaos cards. But it wasn't enough to make the deck meta. And anything, it just made Dragon Link stronger. And then Dragon Link eventually got hit, and this deck never received support since. And technically, it still hasn't received support. But as of today, which is not January, what am I saying? It's July 1st, 2022. We just got released 6 new branded dragon cards that are coming out in the new Blackwing set. That's all the way out in December. So when that support comes in, this deck's going to be amazing. But the whole idea behind this version of the deck is that when Verte was still legal, the idea was, well, all the branded cards are fusions. It locks you into fusions. But that doesn't matter. If you're playing a purely fusion-based Thunder Dragon deck, you could do a really cool combos where you make this guy plus Mara Jade plus a whole bunch of really good cards. And I thought, you know what? This deck has a chance. And then they hit Verte. And the deck kind of fell apart since then. But because of these new cards, which I'll go over at the end of the deck profile, I just want to show you the potential of this deck. So let's go on to the monsters. Now, my monster lineup isn't the best, I'll be honest. I never really got to test this deck out to its fullest because I think Verte and the branded cards were out for like a month at most. And I didn't come up with the idea until like 2 weeks before the ban list hit and Verte got banned. So sadly, this deck isn't at its full potential. But I'll be posting a new update on this deck all the way out in December when that new Blackwing set comes out. I don't know exactly the name. I'll put it in the description what the deck's called, the set's called. But let's just go over the deck profile. First off, we play 1 Chaos Dragon Levineer. This guy is amazing. He's probably one of the best modern day Chaos monsters. When you think Chaos, most people think Chaos Dragon Levineer nowadays instead of Emperor and Buster. But basically what he does is that depending on what you banish, either all lights, all darks, or a mix, he does effects. So he's a 3,000 attack. You special summon him by banishing either all lights, all darks, or like I said, a mixture of both. And if it's only darks, it's a hand loop. So it shuffles one card they control in their hand randomly and puts it back in the deck. And if it's all lights, I believe it, let's see, if it's all lights, it's a reborn. Yeah, special summon 1 monster from the graveyard. And then if it's a mix of dark and light, it blows up, I believe, 2 cards on the field, which is pretty good. So it's one of your boss monsters. It's really good. In Dragon Link, they can recycle him, so they can do it every turn. They just summon out Chaos Levineer, blow up the field, get him engraved, recycle him, put him back in hand next turn, and just keep doing it. But like I said, Dragon Link, Buster Blader Brandy basically got support. So when I go over these support cards, you'll see Chaos in general just went up a whole inch up in the meta. Like, this deck was already decent and like stronger than most decks, to be honest, because you know generic Chaos support is generic Chaos support. But now, because of these new support cards, we will be set to take on the meta. At least in my opinion. Next, we play one Thunder Dragon Duo. Personally, I just had him in the deck because old Thunder Dragon decks used to play this guy. He's another 2800 beat stick. You banish a light and dark, summon this guy. He's pretty cool. He doesn't really do much, to be honest. Basically, once a turn, if a monster effect is activated, you gain 300 attack until the end of the turn. This card destroys a monster by battle. You can banish one card in the graveyard, add a Thunder Dragon for your deck to hand. And then during your opponent's end phase, you can target one of your banished cards and put it on top or bottom of the deck. So it helps with the Thunder Dragons themselves, but ultimately it's still a pretty average card, so we only play one of it. Alright, so next we play 3 Thunder Dragon Roar. Now this guy is a staple in the deck. This guy is amazing. Basically what he does is that Thunder Dragon Roar, all the Thunder Dragons activate in hand. So they all have discard fodder. The reason why all the Thunder Dragons are high levels, as you're going to see right now, is that they want to be discarded. This whole deck revolves around Thunder Dragon, the original OG Thunder Dragon, which is really, really cool. And Thunder Dragon used to be a decent card in old GOAT formats. I don't know if they ever really used it. I'm not really a GOAT format Espiano, but at least Gage thinks it's good, and hey, he plays it in all his decks, but he loses a lot too, so maybe that tells you how good Thunder Dragon was back then. But anyway, all this archetype revolves around retrain of Thunder Dragon. And Thunder Dragon Roar is no exception. Since they're all Chaos monsters, they have a banish effect and a hand effect, which I'll go over right now. So basically, when you can discard this card, add to your hand one Thunder Dragon card that is banished or in the graveyard. So this is how you get back your banished dudes. Roar is amazing for that. He adds back any of your banished dudes in order to keep going. Because originally, Titan, I don't think it's a contact feature, but Colossus was. So the idea was, as long as you activate a Thunder Dragon in hand, and you can get a Thunder onto the field, which isn't hard in Thunder Dragons, you can make a Colossus. And Colossus is basically a mistake on legs, and it's a really stupid boss monster that deserves to be banned. I think Colossus and Harp are the only 2 cards from that format that are still banned. People say Harp can come back, but Colossus definitely can't because Mistake is so strong. But I personally think that the deck hasn't been meta in so long, and I feel like it should get Mistake back. Now, the issue with Thunder Dragons, and I'm going to tell you this right now, they're splashable. None of the monsters have any restrictions on them on summoning, which is the big issue of the deck. That's why a lot of decks used to splash this. I remember when this deck was meta, there used to be Orcust Thunder Dragon versions. There used to be Thunder Dragons used to be splashing everything. And the idea was, as long as you just summon out Colossus, you were good to go. It was amazing. And Colossus was one of the original, well, not one of the original, there's many fusions before that, but it's definitely one of the, like, Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer cards, where, like, every deck that could make Colossus was playing Colossus, so that's why I got banned. But let me continue with Roar's effect. Alright, so basically, if this card is sent to grave, this card is banished, or sent to field to grave, you can special summon one Thunder Dragon monster from your deck in defense position, but return to the end phase. So Roar was one of the ways you got a Thunder Dragon onto the field. So basically, when this thing triggered, you were able to summon out a Thunder Dragon from your deck, and then you could just contact fusion away into Colossus. At least that's how the old deck used to work. But nowadays, you can't do that. The only fusion that Thunder Dragons have that's legal now is Thunder Dragon Titan, which is not going wrong. A really good monster, And we'll get into his effects when we get to him in the extra deck. But it's not enough to keep the deck meta. And that's why once Colossus got banned, this deck fell off hard. I think out of all the decks, this one fell the quickest. And it hasn't never really came back since. So I think this deck needs new cards. And luckily, like I said, these 6 new cards, plus all the branded cards, can give this deck new life. Next, we play 2 Hawk. Now, some people used to play 1 of this. Some people play 3 of this. I think 2 is fine. This guy is really cool. Basically, like I said, they have graveyard and discard effects. When this card is discarded, you can special summon a Thunder Dragon monster from your banish or grave. I think they all do that, to be honest. And then, if this card is banished or sent to your field to graveyard, you can shuffle any number of cards from your... it's basically the recycler. Basically, he's a mulligan effect. So you can shuffle any number of cards in your hand into the deck and then draw the same number. So he's your mulligan effect. If you draw a brick hand, you can just basically say, nah, we're gonna try this again. I see people, like I said, play this a 2 to 1. But honestly, I think it's fine as a 2 of. And, you know, it's not a bad card whatsoever. It's still... I think the stats suck as hell. It's an 1800 attack level 6, I think. Yeah, it's a 6. Definitely needs some better stats, but I always loved the Thunder Dragons for their artwork, and their whole point was to summon out Colossus and Titan, and they don't really care about anything else. Now, Dark's amazing. Dark basically says you can discard this card, quick effect, during your player's turn, search a Dark, which is great, because this is one of the easiest ways to get the whole activated Thunder in hand effect live. It gets a Thunder Dragon grave, adds another one for fodder in hand, and it's just a really strong card. You definitely play 3 Dragon Dark. Also has effect, like I said, if this card is banished or sent from the field to graveyard, you can add a Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand. So he's also your Rhoda. Of course, he can't search himself, but he can search himself when you discard him. But when he leaves a field to grave, he searches any of the other Thunder Dragons, including Duo, I believe. So that's why this card was amazing. And it's a Dark. As you see, the Chaos attributes. We definitely need Darks. And I think, yeah, you're a Dark. So Roar's a Dark. And Thunder Dragon Dark is Dark, of course. And then everything else is Lights. Next, we play 3 Thunder Dragon, the OG. This is literally just fodder in hand. Send 1 Thunder Dragon from hand to grave. Add 2 Thunder Dragons. That's all it does. And it's still one of the best cards in the deck. It's like Blue Eyes. You have to play it. It's just a really good card. Another reason why I love Thunder Dragons is that this was the first real Thunder meta deck. And besides Watts, if you count Watts ever being meta, which maybe very, very long time ago when Lock was a thing. But no, this is the quintessential Thunder deck. When you think Thunder, you think of these guys. And I love that. Their artwork is amazing. And they're just really good cards. Another card we could play. Now, I think in the new version of this deck, we can cut out Matrix. Maybe put it as 1 of. But Matrix is our other 2 of. Just like Hawk, you can play it as a 1 of, or you play it as a 2 of. It's an alright card. But let me go into the effect of Thunder Dragon Matrix. For one, it's the only one you can actually normal summon, but you're never normal summoning this card. The whole idea behind the reason why Dark and Matrix are quick effect discards is so that you can trigger off Thunder Dragon Titan, because Titan has an effect where it pops cards when a Thunder Dragon leaves field, I believe, or it activates in hand. So the idea was you would activate these in hand and it would trigger off Titan, and that's the whole reason why you play Thunder Dragon Matrix. But Thunder Dragon Matrix has a couple effects. You discard this card, target a Thunder Dragon you control, it gains 500 attack. So cool, it gets a little bit of a boost, but that really doesn't matter. Like I say, you just want to trigger off Titan. And then you can add 1 Thunder. This card is banished or sent from field to grave, which is nice because it's a level 1, so you can make Link Karibo, link it off. You basically get to add a Thunder Dragon Matrix from your deck to your hand. That's not the greatest effect. Like I said, it's a kind of iffy card. But the idea was that you just want it in hand in order to discard. I thought it had a really better normal summon set the grave effect, but it really doesn't. It just searches another Matrix, I guess. So I guess in desperate situations, you can make Link Karibo search the other one. But yeah, it's all right. It's another light. In the new versions of this deck, you can definitely cut out Matrix. You probably could cut off Hawk too, and just keep it like this. But now let's get on to the new stuff, because this is basic Thunder Dragon. This is like 2019 Thunder Dragons, I believe. Let's go on to 2022 Thunder Dragons, shall we? We played 2 Fallen of Albaz. There's an argument to play 3, just in case we're playing the branded cards. We might go through all the Albazes, but I think like Despia, 2 is fine. Like I said, he's a dark. When this card is so it gives you another dark for chaos attributes. It's a dragon, which is great, so you can search it off any dragon searcher. Not to mention, it has the effect where this card is double summon or special summon. You get discard 1 card, fusion, super poly your opponent's board, which is amazing. Now your opponent can interact with this guy, but honestly, he's just fodder for what's called Brain Infusion. He's just Brain Infusion fodder because you can send him from deck to grave. That's why the argument is to play 3 of them, but for now, he's just a 2 of. Next, we play 1 White Dragon Wyverbuster and 1 Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. These are our Chaos summoning dudes. Any Chaos or Dragon deck is playing these 2. Well, I guess Dragoonity might not play them, but basically any light or dark deck is playing these 2. Basically, you can special summon. They banish the retrospective colors. So, Black Dragon banishes a light monster to summon itself. White Dragon banishes a dark monster to summon itself. And when this card is sent to grave, you add the other one. That's all it does. So it gets you 2 free bodies for free, which is cool. And it just gives you so much advantage for Link fodder and Fusion fodder. It's just a really strong card. And now we go on to our other Chaos monster that we play. 1 Chaos Valkyrie. This card I thought was going to be broken. I thought this deck was going to make Chaos busted, like the most broken thing ever. And then it didn't. Okay, like I said, Chaos has always been Rogue 2. Like, I think the strongest it's ever been was when Thunder Dragons were at their prime, when Brilliant Fusion was still illegal, and Snow wasn't banned, and Colossus wasn't banned. Now, Snow's back at 1, so there is an argument to be playing Snow in this version. I definitely think you should, but I didn't put the Snow in yet. I think my original build had Snow, and I took it out for some of the branded cards. But there is an argument to put Snow back and switch out the ratios. Like I said, I haven't tinkered with this deck ever since the ban list. I just want to show off this deck and what it can do, and show off the new cards that just got announced today. Because I think the potential of this deck is great. I want to show you what the potential is right now, and then when we get down to, like I said, December, I can show you what a perfect form version of it is after a lot of testing, after a lot of play testing, and a whole bunch of things like that. But I ain't even talked about Valkyrie yet. Valkyrie is, like I said, banishes either 1 light or dark monster. So it doesn't matter if the light's in grave, you banish a light, banish a dark. Doesn't matter. Just banish one or the other. So that's nice. Also, basically, if this card is banished, you can send 1 light or dark from your deck to graveyard, but you can't activate it for the rest of the turn. So the idea here is that when this card is sent to grave, you can send Snow or any of your Thunder Dragons, so it's live next turn, which is really, really good. And basically that's all this card does. It's another extender, and it's just a really strong thing. I really like this card, but it never really pushed Chaos the way it was. It's just a good one-of extender. Next, we play 3 Aloof Lupine. This is probably my favorite Chaos / one of my goofiest cards I know has ever met at a time. Aloof Lupine is your starter, and it's also a really good boy. It's a doggy, so of course, all dogs support. If you see my Prediction Princess deck profile, you know how much I love dogs. But basically what Aloof Lupine does is that you can banish 1 card in your hand, which is great because it triggers all the Thunder Dragons. And then, I believe you to add 2 of those cards with the same attribute. Let me double check that real quick. Yeah, so you banish 1 monster from your hand, and then banish 1 monster from your deck with the same type. So it banishes 2, my apologies. It doesn't add nothing. It banishes 2. It has an add effect when this card is shown at battle, or the card is sent by owner's possession destroyed by your opponent's card effect. That's the add part. So I was getting an effect mixed up. So basically what this card says, banish a Thunder Dragon and then banish a different Thunder Dragon with a different name. That's basically what this card says, which is stupid. So you get 2 Thunder Dragon props with this card. And then, if this card's ever removed by your opponent's card effect, either by destruction or by battle, and then just adds a banished Thunder Dragon or any banished card back to the hand, which is great. Like I said, this should be Snow, but I was trying out Denko Sekka. I'll explain why Denko Sekka. In earlier Thunder Dragon builds, using the Fusion Thunder Dragon spell, which we'll go into, you can search Sekka, and you don't really use your normal summon in this deck. As you can see, our only really normal summon is Fallen of Abaz, maybe, and Aloof Lupine. Everything else is a special summon. The idea with Denko Sekka is that you can search this card and then pop it onto your side of the field against a trap deck, and they just auto lose. Like, what is Eldridge going to do against Denko Sekka? You just summon it, they can't activate trap cards, they just lose. So that's what I like about this card. Now, I think in the new version of this deck, would you play him? I'd probably side him, but I think it's a really cool option. I always loved how Thunder Dragons can search this guy. It made Denko Sekka a really strong card for a while. Alright, now we'll go on to the spell cards. Now, as you see, a very high monster count. This isn't the most optimal build, and we haven't put in the new cards yet. So, I can't wait to show you some new versions of the deck once they're added to YGO Pro, or once they're added to Dueling Nexus. And I can actually start testing the new cards out. Alright, so that's all the monsters. Now we're going on to the spells and traps. We play 1 Call by the Grave because this is a combo deck. We want to, of course, protect ourselves from hand traps. Thunder Dragons can definitely play some hand traps. They definitely have the room for it. But at the same time, it's already kind of a bricky deck because you don't get a normal summon. You don't really have a normal summon deck. Another normal summon you could have played with Battery Solar, but I took those out because they're just not as good. But Call by Grave is just necessary, and we don't play hand traps. So Crossout Designator is another card you can also play as one of hand traps, but overall, this is definitely hard combo. It just wants to build a board. Call by Grave is all you need. Gold Sark, really good. Like I said, you could banish any of your Thunder Dragons, get their effects off, and then in 2 turns, you get to add it back, which is nice. But honestly, if you didn't win the game in 2 turns, there's an issue going on. It's a fusion. Now, this is an iffy one on It's a Fusion. I don't know if we'll be playing it in our newer versions, but in the older version of this deck, there is It's a Fusion targets. For example, this guy, who used to be expensive until he got reprinted. Karmakari Attack. It's a fusion. He's a level 5, and he's just an easy way to go into Colossus. But of course, like I said, Colossus is banned, so this is probably a card we could cut out when the new stuff arrives. Next, we played 2 Thunder Dragon fusions. There was an argument in other decks to play this as a 3 of or a 1 of, but for now, I like it as 2. Basically, what it says is that you can recycle your graveyard or banished Thunder Dragons back into the deck in order to fusion summon, basically. If I remember the effect correctly. Yeah, you fusion summon 1 Thunder monster from your extra deck by shuffling fusion monsters listed on it into the deck from among the cards on your field, in your graveyard, or face up sent to the graveyard. So, yeah. It's not banish. I thought this recycled from banish, but I guess it doesn't. Huh. And then you can banish this card, add a Thunder Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which is really cool. Because it adds a Thunder monster, the banish effect is how we search Denko Sekka, which is really cool. But again, for now, it's just fine. It's a 2-of. Once we get the new stuff, we can probably cut this to 1, but I like it as a 2-of. Next, the reason why this deck has a chance to be meta again, Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion's stupid. We don't care if we lock ourselves into fusions, because we're already a fusion-based archetype that wants the combo, and all our main strong monsters are in the main deck anyway. All our Chaos Levineers and things like that. Not to mention, with the new support cards, this card's going to be a lot more searchable and a lot more recursive. So, one of the other issues with this deck, and why play this version when you can play a Despia version, is because with Verte banned, you couldn't fit the Despia package. I guess you could, because we don't have a normal and it is a dark. So there is an argument to be playing a Luber and branded, all the branded cards and stuff like that. But like I said, I didn't really get a chance to test it because the main way we got into this card was Verte, and Verte got banned. This deck can easily make a Link 2 like that. So the idea was make a Link 2, send this, send a Thunder Dragon monster with Fall of Albaz, fusion into Lebellion banish, trigger a Thunder Dragon off the banish, and then you just full combo from there. But sadly, we can't do that anymore because Verte's banned. But I'll keep showing you how this version does it. But back to what I was saying. The new branded cards allow you to just do so much. Not only do they add any dragon to hand, which is stupid, so making Dragon Link stronger as well. But I just can't wait to show you the new cards. They're all Chaos themed. They're all really strong. When this deck profile is over, I'll show you all 6 new cards. And I'm excited for them. Next, we play 3 Chaos Space. This card's essential. This is the one bright side with these kind of decks, is that Chaos Space is stupid. Basically, any Chaos deck needs to be playing Chaos Space. Dragon Link, Thunder Dragon, any light or dark deck has to be playing this card. Basically, you can send 1 light or dark from your hand to grave, add add a light or dark that can't be normal summon / set from your deck to your hand, which is all the Thunder Dragons. Well, actually, that's not true. It's all the Chaos monsters. So, Chaos Dragon Levianeer, Light and Black Dragon, all those dudes, basically. And then, you get what's called with a different attribute. So you banish a dark, you get to add a light. You banish a light to get a dark. That's basically what it's saying. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 1 banished light or dark that can't be normal or summon, and place it on the bottom of your deck and then draw 1. So the idea is it recycled your Levianeer. It recycled all your light and dark dudes. It recycled links. It recycled everything. In Thunder Dragon, what they usually do, I said wrong. In Dragon Link, what they usually do is they recycle one of the Chaos babies, put it back in the deck, summon out the baby, link it off, and then get the dark again, and just do the whole dark light combo all over again, which is stupid. Next, we play 3 Allure. Like I said, we want to be banishing. This is literally just free draw 2. Doesn't matter what we banish off the dark because all the dark ones trigger when they're banished, so that's really good. And this is questionable. I'm not gonna lie, but because we lost that Verte, I really wanted to search this card. I really want to get the brand fusion. So there's an argument I should be playing some Despias in the deck, but I didn't want to rebuy Despias because I have a whole Despia branded deck that I'll do a later deck profile on. I didn't want to switch them out either. So I played 3 Left Arm Offering. Now this is not a good card. I'll be honest. You get Ash with this card, you just lose. But the idea with this is that Chaos, they activate when they're banished. So you can left arm, banish the Chaos monsters in hand, search out Brand Infusion, trigger all the Chaos effects, and then go off from there. But that's the idea with this card. It's not that great. Like I said, once we get a new support, we will not need Left Arm Offering. But I disliked it as a cool, cheeky 3 of. And that is it for the deck list. I believe it's 42 or 40 cards to be exact. It's very streamlined. If we had more room, I'd probably take this out and put in some Alubers. But for now, I think this is just fine. Now we'll go on to the extra deck. Now the extra deck needs some touching up. I'm not going to lie. I was still working on this deck when it got hit, and I never really got a chance to fix it. So don't be surprised if we're missing some good cards in the extra. First, we play 2 Titan, Thunder Dragon Titan. This guy is the boss monster of Thunder Dragons. It's the whole reason why we're playing the deck. Titan basically says is that you can summon this guy, fusion summon, and basically, so I actually mistaken this. Thunder Dragon Titan and Colossus are contact fusions, as well as normal fusions. I forgot about that. So you can either contact fuse into Titan, or you can hard fuse into Titan with the fusion spell. And basically what Titan does is that when a Thunder Dragon monster activates an effect from hand except during the damage step, quick effect, destroy one card on the field. If this card would be destroyed by card effect, you banish 2 cards from your graveyard instead. So, the idea behind this card is that basically, you made him with Colossus, you had a Matrix or a Dark in hand, and then you get the pop cards on your opponent's field. And it's really hard to kill this guy because he's 3200 attack, and if the card would be destroyed by card effects, you basically just banish 2 Chaos monsters in grave, and you trigger them off, which is stupid. This guy is just missing Colossus, but at least with the new cards, which we'll go into, this deck's getting a lot stronger. Next, we play 2 Mara Jade. Of course you play Mara Jade. It's the reason why I think this deck has a chance. Mara Jade's stupid. It's another fusion monster. It requires Fall of Albaz and any monster from the extra deck, so it's really good super poly target. And basically what this card does is that you can send 1 card from your extra deck to grave, banish 1 card on the field, 1 monster on the field, and you can't activate that effect until the next turn. So basically what this card is saying is that once you banish something, or until you did it on your turn, you can't do it until your next turn. You can't keep doing it during either player's turn. It would be stupid if it could. Also, it has an effect where when this card leaves the field because your opponent's card effect, doesn't matter if they kaiju'd it, super poly'd it, doesn't matter if they beat it up with attack, banish it, doesn't matter. If this card leaves the field because of your opponent's card effect, as long as it's not returned to the extra deck, or banish face down, I guess, you get to blow up their field during the end phase, which is amazing. So really, really strong boss monster. This plus Thunder Roar, Thunder Dragon, Titan over here, is a pretty nasty combo. Of course, we have to make Ice Jade here, so we gotta be playing 2 of our great Albion, the Banished Dragon. Now, like I said, all these cards are already dragons. So the new support that supports dragons supports Thunder Dragons too. But basically what this card does is that you must send a light and a Fallen of Albaz, I believe, to grave to summon this guy, because the Lebellion's dark and a Fallen of Albaz. This guy is a light and a Fallen of Albaz. And basically what it does is that you can fuse summon again by banishing cards in grave, which is great because you can banish your Thunder Dragons to summon Mara Jade. Which is, actually, no, you can't summon Mara Jade, but you can banish it to summon out Lebellion. And then trigger a Thunder Dragon effect, which is really good. And then Lebellion says you get to shuffle cards in your banish or grave back into the deck, so it helps you shuffle back banished cards if you want them back into the deck. And then fusion summon out of Mara Jade by discarding 1 card, which is pretty good. Finally, we play instant fusion targets. Now, again, this is solid. I think this part right here is solid in the deck. All this needs to be fixed. All this right here are like options. So I had instant fusion. The idea of this was that we could make synchro fodder. So this, of course, is just Thunder Dragons, but I put the level 2 in there because it's a tuner. So the idea is that because there's 6s, the Thunder Dragons, if you summon down the field, activate instant fusion, summon out this guy, you can go into a synchro 8. And you're probably wondering what the hell is a synchro 8 you want to make in this deck. That's this guy right here. So any 6 plus this guy equals Chaos Ruler, which is stupid because Chaos Ruler mills 5, and it is a stupid card that came out in Tomb Chaos just with Chaos Space and Chaos Valkyrian. And I think this is the only card besides Chaos Space that's had any meta relevancy, to be honest. Like top tier meta relevancy. Because this card is stupid. You've seen it in my punk decks. You've seen it in a lot of different strategies. This card is stupid. Milling 5, and then it comes back as a light dark by banishing, is stupid. It's level 8, very generic. We also play 1 Titanclad, the Ash Dragon. Basically, it's just another fodder that gets sent. adds Fallen of Alabasta, especially someone's Fallen of Alabasta during the end phase. Allows you to fusion part your board. We played one Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix because, like I said, this used to have Verte in it. We weren't restricted from our extra deck, so that's why we played the Synchros and the Links. But with the new version of this deck, we probably cut all these because we don't want to be locked out. Or we'll keep them because if we can fusion without activating fusion, Branded Fusion, we can still link and synchro summon. So we'll find out. We got to playtest some more. But for now, that's what we have. One cross sheet because cross sheet's stupid. Basically, what matters is if you fusion summon to a zone this card points to, you get the Reborn card, which is really, really good. And then for our final card is a card we actually does not even work in this deck. But originally, this build had Dragon Link cards. Striker Dragon. You can summon out Striker Dragon, search the field spell, get Rocket Tracer, do a whole bunch of Rocket shenanigans. But right now, since we don't have all those Rocket cards, and the branded news cards hasn't came out yet, this will be important, it's just not yet. Like I said, this is just a one-of for now. And this version of the deck, as you can see, isn't the greatest. But now let me show you the new support cards that will catapult this deck to Tier 2, if not Tier 1, in December. At least that's my hopes. I really want Thunder Dragons, or at least a Thunder Archetype, to be meta again. So, if you just want to see my deck profile on Thunder Dragons, here you go. That's it. I don't have a combo tutorial for you. It really depends on your hand. But let me show you the new cards that are coming out in the new set. Okay, so these are the new boss monsters that will be upgrading the Thunder Dragon deck to its newest levels. This guy right here you see in front of me, he banishes either a light or dark during either player's turn if your opponent controls a monster, and ultimately summons itself onto the field, so it's a DD Crow effect, and then it allows you to add a dragon during the end phase, which is broken. This is what I'm saying, that this deck is going to break Thunder Dragons. This card by itself is so stupid. It's going to break Thunder Dragons, it's going to break Branded, it's going to break Despia, it's going to break Buster Blader, and it's definitely going to break Dragon Link. So I can't wait to see all the new Dragon decks this card alone does. Alright, so this is the second one. He's just like the first guy. The next three have the same basic effect where you banish either light and dark, summon themselves. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it during your opponent's turn. You can also use your opponent's graveyard, which is amazing. And when this card is summoned, you get the Foolish Burial, a branded spell or trap, or another one of his archetype to the graveyard. So basically, you get to send anything to the grave, which will be, I'll show you who you send. But he's basically stupid, and I can't wait to show you the greatness of this deck. Okay, here's our second monster. Same thing as the first guy. It's a quick effect, a special summon himself by banishing either a light or dark in either player's graveyard if your opponent controls a monster. And basically what he does is that if this card leaves field, I believe he blows up a card your opponent controls, which is nuts. And yeah, he's just a really, really strong monster. None of these cards are weak, by the way. All these monsters have great stats, so there's a really, really strong Chaos monster. Alright, so this guy reminds me of a punk card. This guy's stupid. So basically what this guy does is that you could discard this card to grave, add any of this archetype, I don't know how to pronounce their name, so forgive me, add any of these cards that I just showed you to the hand, then, here's a little combo for you, you can then quick effect during your opponent's turn, summon that card that you added, then reborn this card, and then when this card is summoned from the graveyard, which it does by tributing a dark level 6 or higher dragon, and then destroys a special summon monster your opponent controls. This card's stupid. I will show you a combo once these cards are in YGO Pro. I can't wait to show you. Okay, I think out of all these cards, this one's the most broken. This card says by tributing 2 Byssted monsters, either when this card's in your hand or grave. So this is definitely your one-of boss monster. When this card is summoned onto the field, your opponent can't activate the effects of any monster that was summoned using Link, Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, Ritual. Does not matter. He literally says lock out every summoning mechanic. He's Dimensional Barrier Skill Drain on legs. He's stupid. And then when this card leaves the field by your opponent, it then banishes their whole extra deck for a turn. So yeah, you're not summoning anything. This thing's an amazing boss monster. It's definitely a one-of in the deck. And it's legally... It's just stupid. I can't wait to show you more. Okay, so this card is called Branded Feast or Beast. Basically what this card does is a continuous trap. This deck got a continuous spell and continuous trap. I'll talk about the continuous trap real quick. Basically, you can pop a dragon you control to pop a card your opponent controls, and then during the end phase, you can add a continuous spell from deck onto the field. He just places it onto the field. And the reason why this card's really, really good is due to the fact that ultimately it just allows you to have free advantage, and it's a pop 2 because of the third guy we talked about. Alright, so I know there's one more spell card. It's continuous spell. I think it's like rebranded, I think it's called. I personally don't know what the effect is, but I do know that it works well with all the other cards. I heard it's really broken. Sadly, everything I've seen so far, I can't seem to find the card or an image of the card. So for here, this is where I'm going to have to leave you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoy all this new support. And you all have a wonderful day.